Coming up next, Amy Wagner is going to tell you how your toothbrush may be the reason you're not selling your home. Hi, I'm with Amy Wagner, who is an award-winning Homerama and Bellarmine Showcase designer. Thanks for joining us, Amy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And we're here today in a house that you staged.
Yes.
Amy, why should someone consider staging their home?
Well, you really want the buyer to be able to see how the furniture will fit in particular rooms. If the house is vacant, they can see the architectural features, but they may not really understand how their furniture is going to fit in a space. So it's important for the homeowner or the buyer to be able to see the furniture in place and know how they could place their furniture and already have that plan in place for when they move in.
And so how do you know specifically what's going to turn someone off and what will not?
Well, that's fortunately one of my certifications. I have 2 certifications in staging, and one of them is expert psychological staging, which taught me what the emotional triggers are to turn them away or pull them into a house. And one of those triggers to push them away would be personal photos, as well as, let's say, a coffee cup sitting on a counter, or your shaver in the shower, or your jewelry laying out. Those are all personal items that when a buyer comes into a house and they see your personal things in the house, they feel like they are invading your space, someone else's space. And we want the buyer to feel like this is their home. We want them to have an emotional attachment to that house and want to sit down and sign a contract. So we want to take those emotional triggers away. We want to neutralize the space so that it is an emotional trigger to pull them into the house.
What are some of the things that people need to know at home? If they have the house for sale and they want to try to do it on their own before hiring you, what are the things that they should consider?
Yes, they could at least go ahead and put away all their personal photos. That's an easy thing. Go ahead and buy containers and bins to have ready to, let's say when they're going to show the house, pull all of their personal things out of their showers and bathtubs and have an empty spot underneath their bath counters to tuck those things away when it's time to show a house or take their photos for their, online listings. The other thing that I always like to recommend is their personal papers and medications and that kind of thing, to have a duffel bag or a cooler or something in a closet that is empty and available to pull all of their papers and bills and that kind of thing off of a desk or workspace and just be able to tuck that away in a closet so that it's safe and secure, and then when they come back home they can live again. When you're listing a house, you still have to be able to live.
Yes.
But realistically you need it to be clear and free for showings and listings. You don't want people to know where you go to the doctor or what your American Express bill is, and that's just a little tip.
Yes, it's very things that you don't think about.
Yeah.
And so removing the personal items also helps the person that's selling the house detach themselves from the house, doesn't it?
Yes, you really need to go ahead and detach from the home. It's not your house anymore, and that's your goal. You want to sell it. So go ahead and start that emotional process of removing yourself from the home. It's not going to be yours anymore, so go ahead and accept that, and part of that process is packing your personal things. And that's something that we offer with our moving management services. I tell people, don't spend more than 2 hours at a time packing. Spend 2 hours, take a break, go to Starbucks, have a glass of wine.
All right, well, thank you so much for being here with us. I'm with Betty Irvin with Mies Tile and Marble. Betty, how long have you been a designer here?
18 years tomorrow.
So that says a lot about Mies Tile and Marble that you've been here so long.
Yes, it's a family business, and there's a lot to be said about family businesses.
Well, so being here so long as a designer, you've seen a lot of things come and go. What's popular this year?
One thing that's really popular are the wood looks porcelains. They look exactly like wood, but they perform better than wood. You don't have to worry about water. You don't have to worry about large dogs and their claws, which seem to scratch the wood, and they'll never fade.
And one of the other popular items that you were telling me about is the ceramic.
Yes, this arabesque design here is very popular. It's showing up in natural stone, it's showing up in ceramic. It seems to be what everybody's asking for.
And so what would you pair this with?
We could pair this with any of our granites. This could also be used as a border or an accent. It doesn't have to be the entire wall. And also, this is a multiple color thing, so you would normally just use one of these colors or two of these colors.
What type of, you offer many different types of granite in it.
Yes, we do. We offer granite, marble, and quartz. One advantage that we have, if it is a stock item, you only pay for what you take home. You're not buying the large slabs like you do at most places.
What else do you have for us here?
Well, the whites are always going to be popular, the subways, the bevels, and just putting a little accent strip in them can just make an amazing difference. We also have some, this is silver travertine and the ledger stones. These stacked stones with the rough edge are extremely popular.
Thank you so much for your time today, Betty. We really appreciate it. If you're interested in getting some stone or some tile for your bathroom or kitchen, be sure to give Mies Tile and Marble a call with the contact information on your screen.
Okay, now we're getting into the time of the year when you got long, hot stretches of days. It's a perfect time to take care of probably, I would say, our second most used living space in our house, and that's our decks. What we want to do is take a look at how to get them prepared, get them sealed so that we don't end up with a lot of rotted wood and we don't end up replacing things that we don't need to replace. First and foremost, what we want to do, you want to clean it. If you take and get you a pressure washer or a good scrub brush. If you don't have a pressure washer, don't want to get into that. A good deck brush on a pole and some deck cleaner is going to get all the dirt, the residue, but most important, it's going to clean off any of the mildew that is there that keeps your deck from properly being sealed. Now, as we go into our sealers, there's basically 4 different types that you want to use and 4 different reasons to use it. The first that we have is our 3-year protection. It's basically just a clear sealant, and you want to put that only on new wood. New wood takes a clear sealant. Then we'll step over to kind of, I guess you call these 2 here, semi-transparent, and you can add a color to them. They're for slightly worn decks or decks that aren't quite as new, got a little bit of weathering on them, but you still want to keep that natural wood grain and that natural look coming through the stain that you're putting on. And then we have our 10-year protection, which is a solid color, and we're going to show you the colors that you can get each one of these in here in just a second. But this is for a total coverage. Say you got some old stain on there and you can't get it off, or some old color on there, you've painted it once. This is going to bring it all back to one natural color, and the colors that we have, you can really get close to natural wood to bring new life into that deck and to allow it to do it. Now, as you start to put your coats on, your first coat will probably, depending on the sun and the humidity, in about an hour or so be good for foot traffic. I'd give it 24 hours before I started having any heavy traffic or any kind of parties on it. And as we put all of our stain on, you're going to look at your wood, and if it's soaking in, that's good. That's what we want, because it's going into all them wood grains and sealing it. So we'll wait a little while and we're going to put another coat on until it kind of sets on top. Now when you see it, if it comes a rain, you're going to see water is going to be puddled all over the deck, and it's just going to look clean and bright, and you'll have you a deck that'll last your lifetime. You got to take care of it if you don't want to be replacing wooden boards.